Good morning, everyone. I'm David Talbot, Managing Director and Head of Research here at Red Cloud Securities. We would like to extend our thanks to Where Folds LLC for sponsoring this program. Our next presenter is Matti. He's CEO of Aurion Resources. Aurion is currently exploring the extensive land package in Finland, where it recently discovered the Helmi gold zone just meters away from the 4 million ounce Ikari discovery. So Matti, you'll have 15 minutes to present, and then we'll have 5-minute Q&A at the end of the session. For those watchers, please input your questions and we'll get to as many as we can. So take it away, Matti.
Thank you, David. And a good day to everyone, and thank you for joining this presentation on Aurion Resources. And I would also like to thank Red Cloud for organizing this event. During the early stages of a development of a gold camp, the discovery rate of new mineralization is high, as each new discovery provides information and vectors towards the next one. I think that we are seeing this exciting and rewarding period now in northern Finland. So it is like Timmins, but 110 years ago, when the dome was discovered and subsequently led to an active phase of exploration and development of a major gold camp. And here we have the forward-looking statement. So Aurion is a Canadian-listed company exploring for gold in northern Finland. We have been active in Finland for about 6 years. And over this period, Aurion and our joint venture partners have made several high-grade near-surface gold discoveries within our district-scale land package. Major gold companies have noted Aurion's success. Kinross and Newmont Gold Corp are among our shareholders, and we have joint ventures with B2 Gold and Kinross. These large companies, as well as many other prominent investors, have recognized the extensive land package we have, the number of recent discoveries, and the camp scale potential in an area which is ranked as one of the best jurisdictions to operate in. And at the moment, we consider that our valuation provides an attractive investment opportunity. A couple of years ago, our shares were trading materially higher, while the sector was trading lower. And it was suggested at that time we were fully valued. However, the situation has changed. The sector is booming and Aurion's share price has fallen. But our projects are not any worse. In fact, we have taken several steps forward and made discoveries. So we think that there is a good opportunity to close the valuation gap to many of our peers. And particularly, I would like to point out our immediate neighbor, Rupert Resources, who is currently valued close to $1 billion following their impressive Ikari discovery located a few hundred meters from our joint venture with B2 Gold. And as I'm sure you've all noticed, there is appetite for quality projects. In recent times, there has been a number of acquisitions spanning from pre-resource to operating assets, and the value of high quality assets is increasing. Since Aurion entered Finland in 2015, we have compiled an extensive land package which covers approximately 80 kilometers of this 125 kilometer long crustal scale structure called Sirkka. That resembles the structural framework in some of the most prominent gold camps in the world, such as the Porcupine-Desta Fault Zone in Timmins. There are 2 major mines in the vicinity of our project area. Europe's largest gold mine, owned by Agnico, is located here. Boliden's nickel copper PG mine is located right here. And Anglo's significant Sakatti discovery, which was made in 2009, is located about 12 kilometers from our Risti property. We are also seeing a growing number of gold occurrences on both sides along this major structural corridor. As I mentioned earlier, that we would expect to see a large number of discoveries during the early phases of development of a gold camp. And this is exactly what is happening. 5 years ago, when Aurion started to explore in this region, only a few gold occurrences were known in this part of the central Lapland greenstone belt. Since then, more than 20 gold mineralizations have been discovered by Aurion and our neighbors. The first significant gold discovery since Agnico Eagle's Kittilä mine was Aamurusko in 2018. In 2020, Rupert Resources made the Ikkari discovery, which is located right here next to our B2 Gold joint venture area, where the joint venture made the Helmi discovery last year. Any new discovery has the potential to be the company maker. And this is what happened to Rupert Resources with their Ikkari discovery, which was made in May 2020. Ikkari has evolved in a short time frame into almost 4 million ounce deposit with only 36,000 meters of drilling and have yielded a very high return on capital invested. We are pleased to see discoveries of this scale as it clearly demonstrates the prospectivity of the region. And as mentioned, Ikkari is located very near to our B2 Gold joint venture property boundary, with the closest drill hole collars actually on the boundary. This discovery led the joint venture to target the east-west striking corridor, and the first holes drilled into this blind target 1.3 kilometers west from Ikkari returned a significant number of significant intervals of near-surface gold mineralization. Drill holes are widely spaced. Excuse me. The drill holes are widely spaced over 1.3 kilometer strike length, and 17 out of the first 20 holes intersected one or multiple zones of gold mineralization. For comparison, the 4 million ounce Ikkari resource is within 600 meter strike length, so we have plenty of room to grow. And so far, we have only tested shallow depths and a small part of the prospective structural trend that extends at least 8 kilometers within the joint venture property. Here on the left here, you can see a plan view of the core area of the Helmi discovery, and on the right side, we have a simplified cross-section. Now, this wide, consistent gold mineralization is mainly hosted within highly deformed, altered, mafic to ultramafic rocks with some sedimentary layers as well, and associated with fine-grained pyrite dissemination. Helmi and Ikkari resemble each other and are hosted within the same prospective structural corridor. We are pleased to have B2 Gold as a valued partner in this joint venture. B2 Gold owns 70% of the joint venture and Aurion 30%. And we are happy to retain our 30% interest, as Helmi and the joint venture has the potential to create significant value. The property covers a large area, and there are numerous prospects that warrant further exploration work. The planned joint venture budget for this year is 10 million Canadian, including 12,000 meters of drilling. And during the ongoing winter season, we are drilling with 2 rigs with the focus on testing targets on frozen swampy ground, mainly in the Helmi area. These recent discoveries, Helmi and Ikkari, they also provide support for regional exploration. These deposits are located close to a domain boundary. And we have tens of kilometers of unexplored domain boundaries within our joint venture and within our 100% owned properties. Last year, we commenced a systematic regional exploration program, including property-wide geophysical surveys and regional scale base of till sampling program. These 2 methods are behind most discoveries in central Lapland greenstone belt, including Kittilä Mine, Ikkari, and the Sakatti discovery by Anglo. Last year, we took about 3,500 base of till samples, and approximately 200 of those returned elevated gold values, clearly indicating that the domain boundaries are prospective over long strike extent. I would also like to note that Ikkari was identified as a drill target on the basis of 1 or 2 base of till samples with elevated gold values. So any of these anomalies have the potential to guide us to a big discovery. Aurion's exploration activities within our 100% owned Risti and Launi properties started with prospecting campaigns that generated tremendous footprint of samples with high gold grades. If you look at the scale and the size of the Risti and Launi properties, you could easily fit world-class gold camps into these areas. The blank areas where we don't have any sample dots are not amenable for prospecting or mapping due to the lack of surface exposure. However, these areas are also very prospective, And as noted, we have a base of till sampling program ongoing, testing many of these other areas. Our most advanced discovery is Aamurusko, which is located here at the center of the Risti property. Our prospecting team collected over 1,200 boulder samples averaging 25 grams per ton gold within an area of 1 kilometer by 1.5 kilometers. One of the sources, at least one of the sources for the boulders, is the Aamurusko main area, where drilling returned exceptional intercepts such as 789 grams per ton gold over 2.9 meters. This discovery hole was drilled in 2018. In 2019, we found further zones of gold mineralization on top of the hill, and drilling of this target returned further impressive intercepts, including 9.4 grams per ton gold over 28 meters. Considering the large footprint of the boulders and other gold indications we have here, it is very likely that we have more high-grade source areas to be discovered at Aamurusko. After a hiatus caused by COVID and limitations using helicopter-supported drilling, we have returned to drilling activities at Aamurusko last year. We were able to solve the access problems by building temporary roads using blasting mats. So there was no requirement to use helicopter anymore. And this solution enabled us to use normal, powerful track-mounted rig for drilling, resulting in much better technical efficiency and significant reduction in costs per meter drilled. Here we have a pseudo long section showing the extent of drill coverage at Aamurusko so far. The drilling covers about a strike length of approximately 1 kilometer and only to a depth of 150 to 200 meters in most areas. And as you can see, there are numerous gold intercepts and there is plenty of room to grow. During the recent drilling campaign, we expanded the footprint of gold mineralization at Aamurusko by identifying parallel gold-bearing structures, and that gold-bearing structures extend into several lithologies, including a gabbro, which is a very favorable host for gold mineralization. So far, we have identified several gold-bearing structures over 1 kilometer strike length within the gabbro body that actually may represent a differentiated mafic seal. And these type of lithologies host tens of millions of ounces of gold, for example, in Kalgoorlie. We consider that the high-grade mineralization, zones of high-grade mineralization at Aamurusko that start from the surface, they are already valuable. And we have very good opportunity to increase the value by discovering more of these high-grade shoots within the clastic sediments and by identifying wider, more consistent zones of gold mineralization in other lithologies, such as in this mafic seal. During this year, we will continue our systematic approach for exploration. We are planning to drill throughout the year and testing several targets. We have several drill-ready targets such as Aamurusko and Notches in our 100% owned property, and Helmi and Kutuvuoma within the B2 Gold joint venture. We are currently drilling with 2 rigs at the joint venture, and we will be testing selected scout drill targets before returning to Aamurusko. And as we speak, we are generating new targets for scout drill testing using the combination of base of till sampling and geophysical surveys. We have 2 rigs taking base of till samples, and we have recently completed property-wide geophysical surveys. Our aim is to make multiple discoveries, and we do believe that our properties certainly have the potential to host several gold occurrences of scale. We continue to manage the company in a way that our shareholders and stakeholders will benefit on the exploration success. We currently have 118 million shares outstanding and 1.6 million broker warrants. Our largest shareholder is Kinross at 10%. Kinross acquired their initial position in 2017 and have since maintained their ownership position. We are pleased to have Kinross and several other well-known investors as our owners. The interests of the management are well aligned with our shareholders, as the management is the largest ownership group. Our chairman, Dave Loughton, is the second largest owner, just behind Kinross. We do have a strong working capital position, as we started the year with approximately 24 to 25 million Canadian dollars. That will fund us into 2024, but also provides us with the flexibility to increase the level of exploration activities should the results warrant us to do so. And these are the people responsible for guiding the company forward. We do have a good balance of technical and capital market expertise in our company. Within our Aurion, we have several valuable components. We have our 100% owned high-grade discoveries and very good potential to expand the non-mineralized systems or the identified mineralized systems, as well as to make new discoveries of scale. We have exciting joint venture with B2 Gold. The Helmi Discovery made last year shows plenty of promise, and we have a sizable program ongoing during this year. Aurion owns 16% of Strategic Resources, which is part of Lumina Group and focusing on developing vanadium projects. And we have a recent joint venture with Kinross. We think that we are at the right place at the right time. We are at the core of an emerging gold camp. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for your presentation, Matti. So we will kick off the Q&A session now. We've got about 3.5 minutes. So at Aamurusko, what's the nature of the alteration associated with the almost 800 gram per ton sample? Is that due to a specific geological anomaly, and does it differ from the rest of the Risti project?
These high-grade mineral occurrences at Aamurusko, they are hosted within clastic sediments, silica-rich sediments, and in quartz vein those. And we have different style of alteration around this system. It includes silica alteration, sericite alteration, for example.
Okay. And you cover about 8 kilometers of the Akari trend to the west on JV ground, but you also have 15 kilometers of the same trend on 100% owned ground to the east. How much focus are you planning to give that area this year?
We consider that we have very, very good chance to make new discoveries of these Helmi and Ikari style within our 100% owned ground as well. So we started the systematic way of exploration on those areas last year, and we will keep on continuing doing that during this year by means of base of till and geophysics. And then we generate targets for drill testing. So that work is ongoing. Last year we took 3,500 samples. As we speak, we have 2 rigs taking base of till samples. So we aim to generate a number of targets for drill testing during this year.
Right. Okay. One of your partner companies, Kinross, has essentially closed its operations in Russia. What other assets does Kinross have in Finland? Is that going to help you guys out? And I guess to add on to that, social acceptability does appear fairly good in Finland. Do you expect that to continue?
Well, let's start from the social acceptability. The area we operate in Finland, Sodankylä and Kittilä, they are the exploration and mining hubs in Finland. And they are excellent places to operate. Really, really good municipalities. But of course, we always want to take care of the people, the stakeholders, and the environment. In terms of Kinross, we have the joint venture with them. They are also our largest shareholder, and they have been very supportive towards us and great owner during the past 5 years. And we expect that the good cooperation will continue over the coming years as well.
Right. Okay. With that, we are up against time, Matti. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Thank you, everybody else, for attending. Up next, we have Stratabound Minerals on Stream 1 and Defiance Silver on Stream 2. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, David.